is the Elevated Grapes Podcast.
Elevated Grapes Podcast.
With your host, Sethee.
Your host, Sethee.
And stylist, Rashi Bindra.
It's time to get started.
Let's talk fashion, shall we? Welcome to Elevated Grapes. I am your host, Sethee.
And I am stylist Rashi Bindra.
And Billy's here with us today. She's lying down in my lap right now. She'll probably pop up a little bit later if you're watching on the video version on YouTube. You might get a little surprise visit from our mascot and Elevated Grapes cat, aka Billy. Oh, there's her little ears. You can see them slowly popping up. Let's give a quick cameo. And she could look. She's
Superstar.
She's fighting me because she wants to lie down. Billy, say hi.
Hey, Superstar. Hey, Billy. Hey, Superstar.
She's like, what is that light? Why is that light shining in my face?
She's like, why? Why are you guys bothering me?
Yeah, what are you guys doing? There's now her tail's all in my face. So we're gonna actually talk about a area of specifically to men's grooming, just because I went through a experience and we thought that it'd be a good idea to just kind of walk through that experience a little bit, share the what it felt like, and it was something that I've done for the first time in my life, even though I've thought about it a number of times and been told by many people to do before, but decided now to go through it. And then I'll talk about the reasons, I'll talk about the experience and what it felt like. So I don't know, Rashi, given that I'm going to be talking a lot in this one, do you want to do the introduction to the idea?
Sure, why not? So for those who are just tuning in for the first time ever, we are a business, fashion, and lifestyle podcast, and we both are amazing stylists amongst the other things that we do. And today we are going to be focusing on men's grooming, and this topic was actually inspired by my co-host's face. So I did this picture that pops up on our WhatsApp conversation of his face completely shaven. So if you guys for some reason are not following us on our socials, please go ahead and see his before photo, where he has this like sexy beard going, and girls like throw themselves at him. He's actually a pretty decent looking guy, so we like make a good like a good team here. But then I get this photo and he's completely clean shaven, and I was like, are we fucking recording like this? Like, what is going on?
That was actually your first response, because I didn't give you any context as to why I shaved my face. I just sent you the photo and saying what did I say? Something here's my face in case you didn't know what it looked like.
And my reaction was priceless.
Absolutely. You literally were like, are we recording like this? That's all. That's the only thing you thought about. It was hilarious.
Listen, I then said, and then I was like, oh, don't worry, you're still awesome, but is this what I'm getting tonight to record?
Yeah, it was like a consolation. It's like, you look all right, I guess, but I mean, are you thinking about the show at all, or what's going on here?
So now that I know why you did what you did, and the reason why your cheeks look like two rosy apples. So again, guys, I highly recommend you guys going on our socials, especially for this episode. Go to YouTube and watch this. This requires a lot of visualization.
Absolutely. I literally feel naked.
Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I basically, if you're not watching on YouTube, or if you haven't visited my Instagram, I literally just shaved my face. Like I have not shaved my beard for 15 years. I've trimmed it, I've grown it, I've had like different lengths in my beard. I've kept it really short trimmed, but I've never gone down to like a base stubble or completely shaved it. So this, whatever I decided to do, required me to, well, it didn't require, but it was recommended that I come in clean shaven, just because it'll have a better impact, and I'll get the full benefit of the service I was going to use. So I contemplated a hummed and hawed, and eventually last minute, took the trimmer to my face, and I was going to put one of the lower cover blades on it. And I was like, you know what? If I'm going to do this service, I want to get the most benefit out of it. So I'm just going to go with it. Hair will grow back in a week or two. It's not a big deal. And plus we're sitting home a lot right now, so it doesn't really matter. It's not that I'm other than the podcast, I'm not really going anywhere or seeing anything. Look, Billy's trying to make some appearances. Not that that's a small audience, but with that being said, it kind of gives us something to talk about as well.
So why don't you kind of lead us, instead of us all being in suspense as to why you shaved, and why I'm very thankful we're doing this on Zoom right now, because literally the child in me wants to literally pinch your cheeks and just keep going like this the entire time.
Yeah, I keep a beard for a reason, because I do look like a lot younger with my
You actually do.
great face. I do have the bigger cheekbones, or so kind of like shows apple cheeks. So it changes my facial structure a little bit, and also I don't have the most defined jawline. The beard does help with that. So a few different reasons I decided to keep it. So yeah, so I made a decision to go get a facial. We had Kavita Suri on our show not too long ago. So she owns a medical spa called Infused Med Spa in downtown Toronto in Yorkville. Definitely highly recommend her service now that I've been able to take advantage of it and use her service. So I went to meet with her a couple of weeks ago. Oh, I lost my headset there. Bear with me 1 second. I'm sorry. So that was Billy just trying to leave. So I met up with her, and I wanted to discuss the idea of setting up a skincare routine with her. For we're doing a lot of stuff on camera all the time, you and I. So I wanted to look for something that's going to help me upkeep the skincare routine, because our face is on camera all the time, and it's what people see. They don't see necessarily our clothes. We're stylists, and we focus a lot on the clothing part of style, but this is a big part of it too that I never embraced and never took as part of my routine. And so I wanted to change that. So I told her my areas of concern. So I'm, one of the things I always have, no matter what, and I've had this for the longest time since I was a child, or in high school, I've always had bags under my eyes, and they change. Like sometimes they're a lot bigger, as I'm sure you've seen on some, if you watch some of our YouTube, some you'll see like my eye bags are probably my biggest issue, and can really make you look older when you're not. Like the rest of my face doesn't have that older look to it, fortunately, but the eye bags are what gives me away. So that was an area of focus. And then I have very oily skin, naturally speaking, which I've been told is actually a good thing, because it helps keep your face looking younger, because it's always naturally moisturized. So I guess that's a good thing. But also just, as we're getting older, I wanted to protect against any sort of, not any sort of, but protect against aging, rapid aging. As we get older, wrinkles and laugh lines, all those things kind of come in. And I'm a big proponent of doing things naturally. I'm not a big proponent of doing things that are not natural for your face. So that was very important for me in things that Kavita and I spoke about. So she gave me her different options that she has in terms of different types of skincare routines. And she uses a lot of medical grade products that she provides her clients with to continue the skincare routine at home. So our first conversation was surrounding that. She talked about the different products that she has, why she suggests doing, and I'll talk to that a little bit as well, why she suggests doing these different, using these different products and what the benefits of them are. So I'll go into that a little bit. Some of it I'm going to be paraphrasing. So Kavita, if you are ever listening and I mess it up, don't get mad at me. Just let me know, and we'll rectify it in a future podcast. So that was the first conversation. And then the second was like, well, I want to come in and I want to do like something directly with her, because it's a bit more intensive if her as a professional is providing that service. So she has a service called Hydroglow, which is a unique facial process that they use at their medical spa. So that's the one I ended up using. It's about, I would say, 45 minutes to an hour. I mean, the good thing about it, she does put this mask on your face, and they put a hot towel over your face, and that's I literally, I kid you not, probably for like 10 minutes I knocked out. I think I woke
to our world.
Yeah, I think I literally woke up to a snore. Like I think I snored and I scared myself, and then I woke up. I'm not used to lying on my back, so I was lying on my back. So we decided to do that, and then we booked the consultation. So we booked the meeting to go do it. And so prior to it, the day before, I messaged her and I'm like, "Do you need me to be clean shaven for this?" And she goes, "It's better if you can, because then you'll get the full impact of the service." She's like, "But I can work around your beard if you don't want to." So I actually had a couple of conversations with my family, and I'm like, thinking about this, and they're like, just like, literally, you're home, like you're not going anywhere. It's COVID, you're not and about at events right now, so you can afford to be clean shaven for a week, because my facial hair will grow back. So I did it, I'm jumping around a little bit, but took the razor to myself, as I mentioned earlier, and I trimmed my beard like pretty much all the way off. And I remember I sent a picture. First, I sent it to my family, and like, by the way, here's what my face actually looks like. So we have a group chat with the family. My mom was literally like, "This is not my son. I don't know who this is." And I'm like, "Thanks, family, for all the nice support." And then they made some other comments. And my sister sent an emoji, like, the round face emoji with the straight line. Because I didn't smile in this picture. I just had it was just a straight face. And she's like, "You look like this guy." And then she sent another one. She's like, "You look like this baby." And I'm like, "You guys are really supportive. Thank you. This is really a nice feeling that I just shaved my face, which I'm already apprehensive about. And you guys are making me feel so good about it." I'm like, "Just shoot me." My mom's like, she's like, "No." She's like, "If I have to look at your face, shoot me." I'm like, "Oh my God. Like, who is this woman?" Right? Like, she's like, so to put it in context, my mom is very sarcastic. So she was just having like a field day with this. So that was, it started the experience just by that conversation. And then obviously I sent it to Rashi, the same picture. And then she was just like, "What the heck do I have to record with your face looking like that?" I'm like, "Guys, this is my face. Like, just because there's no beard on, this is actually what I look like. This is non-facial hair saga."
But I speak for everybody. I think safely I can speak for everybody when I say you look more attractive with your beard.
I 100% agree with you.
Right? You look more manly. And the other thing also is, so for those of you who know us and who are just again starting to know us, our host here is also a international DJ. And last night he decides to surprise us, go live on Instagram. So do follow him on Instagram, because he'll never tell you when he's going live. He just throws it in there. So if you're like me, who try and sleep early after a nice meditation, whatever, you're like getting into bed, a notification comes on, you check, and then you regret going live. That was my case last night. So here he is, like he's DJing live, slow jams. Like, I'm like literally dancing in bed, and I passed out on my iPad, on the Instagram iPad. I literally passed out hearing his music. So I'm seeing this, I'm seeing my friend, I'm seeing him DJing, and I'm just like, okay, cool. I'm like, he's doing his thing, and when he's in his zone, he looks amazing, doing his thing, like he's jamming, whatever. Then I wake up in this morning, and we're chatting. And then this evening before our podcast, I get a picture of his Backstreet Boy look. So I'm just like, last night, this morning, what the fuck just happened?
So yeah, we're recording this. So this will release on a Tuesday, but we're recording this the Friday prior to. So I literally just got the facial done today, and so I literally, as I sent it out to a couple of people that I thought it would be hilarious to send it to, because they'd be like, "What the heck happened?" Obviously, Rashi's reaction was as I expected it to be. So that was entertaining, to say the least. So, and like I said, my concern is that I'm not truly concerned, because like I said, my facial hair will grow back, and probably by our next podcast, you'll see me with facial hair again, like normal. A little bit lighter than usual, but 2 weeks later, I'll be back into normal. So I endeavored through this to this journey, and I'm really excited about it. Style, as you've heard both me and Rashi say a number of times over and over, to us is a very personalized experience, and you're styling someone. No two people are going to necessarily be styled the same, because you're doing it based on their personalities, their lifestyle, their job, their surroundings. You're taking everything into consideration, right? Their likes, their dislikes. You're really personalizing that experience and that wardrobe to them. And a lot of our focus in styling is on the wardrobe. This is an extension of that. Having a good, we talk a lot about mental health, so having a good head on your shoulders, and being able to curb any sort of issues, emotionally and mentally, and making sure you're focusing on those things. You look amazing in a pair of jeans or a nice top, but if in your mind you're not settled, or your heart you're not settled, it's going to show everywhere. And I think the same goes, as I'm learning more about the benefits of a proper skincare routine, it all sort of ties in, right? You can wear the most amazing clothes, but if at the end of the day you are tired and worn, and it shows on your face, and your face, it's the first thing people see, you want to make sure that you're taking care of that. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not a proponent of doing doing things unnatural to your face. Like the things I would look for are natural, and it's not about stopping the aging process, because I think aging is actually a beautiful part of life. And as people change and their faces change, and all the sort of stuff that they go through, it's a part of life. So you gotta to me, you gotta kind of accept it and be happy with it. I just want to do that as gracefully as possible, especially given the fact that we're constantly in front of a camera, whether it's on our Instagram channels, whether it's on our YouTube shows, or whether it's even on as we're doing sort of live events and partnership type of hosting activities, or whatever the case. We're constantly in front of a camera, so having that part of that, your style sense, to complete it, to me is very important, especially for us, but I think for anybody, and no matter what your vocation is, right? Because if you're working and you're in front of people all the time, whether it's in meetings, or whether it's you're a teacher in a classroom and you're seeing kids and parents all the time, and your coworkers, or whether you're in a corporate environment, and if you're for example, if you're in the construction space and you're somewhere where you get down and dirty regularly, even then it's so important for you, because all that dirt and that buildup is building in your skin and on your face, and that's, like I said, the first thing that people see. So you want to really be cognizant of that, and find a solution that makes sense for you. Now, obviously, with that being said, it's not a cheap undertaking. You obviously got to make it a priority, and look at your budget to see what makes the most amount of sense. And that's why there's different types of solutions, right? Like, so for me, like, I'm probably going to do this once a quarter, roughly every 3 to 4 months. I'll go in for a full service facial, and then I picked up some product from Kavita as well. That's going to help me to work through the cycle while I'm at home on a daily basis. And for me, it's also a lot, because some of the stuff that she's giving me to do, I got to do twice a day. Right. And that's a lot. That's a lot for me to, be mindful of and think of and build into my already existing crazy lifestyle. But like I said, it's an investment for me, because I'm literally on camera every week doing a show or something on Instagram, or something with, like a partner. So it's a very important investment for me that I'm making for the work that we do.
So just to
Yeah.
Sorry, so just to interject, um, like in your case, because you are a well-known public figure, I'm gonna put it this way. Um, Even during COVID and then during these times, you always had something going on. You were either DJing live, or you were doing a bunch of radio shows, or you have your segment called Ask the Expert. So like, people are more seeing your face all the time. For those who are not necessarily, and again, this applies to men, and you don't have to be in the fashion industry, you don't have to be in the entertainment industry. Even if you are, a family guy, if you have your like corporate job, and you're like living the best life that you can, taking care of yourself, or like your skin, and just being groomed is such a very important component to who you are as a person, I would say. And what I've noticed, even with my other male colleagues, is when you give yourself this little bit of time, you also internally feel good, and that starts showing externally in your life. So sort of like, you're saying, oh, I have to do this skincare regime like twice a day type of thing. Yes, it's a lot for you because it's not something you're used to, but I'm pretty sure the way you're feeling at the moment, seeing how your skin's feeling, you're almost like motivated to like keep this up, right? So that I think makes a huge difference to your mental state as well, which is very, very important right now, given the pandemic. Rates of depression, anxiety, low self-esteem is still going up high, because we're really confined against our own choice. So,
and you're right. The for a lot, like the mental health component, and that's what we started with, that the mental health component is so important. This all ties into that, right? Looking good and feeling good. I mean, I'm not saying, I don't want it to sound materialistic. I'm not saying looking good is everything. I definitely don't want that to be the message here, but it's a part of feeling good, and feeling good is a part of the mental health. So if you are taking care of yourself externally and internally, those are all positive things to help you feel better. So to me, this is an extension of that. right? It is an investment, like we said, like for me to build into this twice a day skincare facial routine that I now have to do, or now I'm going to not have to, now that I'm choosing to do, is a big investment on me and on my time, and also just from a routine standpoint, because it's not something I'm used to doing. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to do it. Like my skincare up until this point has literally been, and it's on and off. Like sometimes like I used to have this mask thing that I used to put on every so often, but it's literally right now it's like I use a charcoal face wash. Like that's all it was. Right. So there's no skincare routine. And so the other thing, I was talking to Kavita and she's like, you only wash your face in the shower? I'm like, yes.
I think I actually remember having that conversation us three when like we were doing the podcast, and something came up about your like routine, and we were just like, how are we friends? I think that was my question even then.
So that alone is obviously like, it's not the most effective skincare process. I mean, you're supposed to actually, like, once you take your shower, come out and do it separately, and also in the evening. So like that's there's a twice a day, but then you're supposed to use a specific product. So we'll get into the product in a minute. The facial was a really cool experience. I'm going to butcher some of the impact of what the different parts of the routine that she used. And again, Kavita, I'm really sorry, because I'm going to butcher what the true essence of what it is. But what I want people to take away is that it was truly an amazing experience. Like, and Kavita and her team are very, very good at what they do. So it started off with essentially it's a cleanser. They put on a cleanser to help. I guess the first thing is probably not exfoliating, but just to help, like, to get the dirt off your, like the layer of dead skin off your face. And then it goes into a second, which is, I think the second one was the microdermabrasions. So it felt like it's a bit of a rougher, and this is like a lot of people that are listening to this have probably done this, but for those that have not, and gentlemen that are listening and are thinking about this, it's a bit of like a rougher texture, but they apply that to your face, and that's again to smooth out, like, again, any dead skin cells, just to clean, like totally clean out the face. And then she puts another solution that's very heavy in vitamins. So there's vitamin E and vitamin D and a couple others she mentioned in there, and some other minerals. So they put that on your face to apply. And in between every section or every layer that she does, she after they clean it off, they put a hot towel around your face. So it's, like, in all honesty, it's also like very relaxing. And when you're saying, like, she's doing all this stuff in your face that's making your face cleaner and better. And in the meantime, you're just kind of sitting here feeling like a king, because you're literally sitting there with like a hot towel on your face and falling asleep, because it's just so relaxing. And then they have they have the sound of like the ocean, which I for those that know, I travel a lot, and I typically like to travel places where there's ocean. So that was really amazing for me. Like, the sounds of the ocean, and like the room was just really nicely set up, and typical spa type of environment. So you feel really relaxed in that environment. So then they put on the vitamin cream. The other thing that Kavita does now, she has this special technology. So their service is called Hydroglow. That's what their facial is called. And I think this is the main piece. So she has the next two steps is almost like a suction. It's not cupping, but there's a suction, like almost like a vacuum. She described it, and she glides it over your skin, and it's pulling at your skin because it's like a vacuum, right? Mm-hmm. But essentially, that's what it's doing. Is it's taking off now, because all that, whatever dead skin it's taking that, essentially taking that off. So there's two steps that she described it to me. I'm not going to try to re-explain them, because I think I will 100% butcher what they actually do. It's actually very relaxing, but I think those are the main two steps in her process that are a little bit different than some other places, and that give you the extra value that their service offers. So she did those two steps, followed by a mask. The mask she puts on your face, and then she literally leaves you in the room for, I think, I don't know. It didn't feel like it was long enough, because I think I passed out. I remember waking up to my own snore, and that scared me. And then it woke me up, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm snoring, and I'm in public. Like, what the heck? And for those that I don't snore, I've had this conversation. I do not snore. I do not. I was lying down on my back, and like, when you're in that transition stage between sleeping and not sleeping, I was in there. Whatever. I don't snore, but this time I did, and it woke me up. So
I love how you're very firm about the fact that you don't.
I don't snore.
It's like an affirmation. Like, I do not snore.
It is an affirmation. And then I also, like, I know also when I'm in the process of falling asleep, like my body twitches a little bit. So I remember feeling that too. I'm like, oh my God, that scared me too. So again, all these things woke me up. So then when they come back in, so she cleans your face from the mask or like wipes it off again, a hot towel again, amazing experience feeling. And then she puts a last layer of something to clean off everything and do the final like shine to your face. Amazing experience from beginning to end. She uses like an oil of some sort, and she gave me as she was doing like a massage around my neck, right, and in the back of my head. So like obviously that's probably what helped me pass out. And so again, just top to bottom, an amazing experience. And you really feel like like after I was done, she's like, okay, I'm gonna go out. Whenever you're ready, just come out, and I'll share the product stuff with you. So I said, okay, great. So then I got up from the bed and I felt my face, and I kid you not, like I said before, I'm a little bit lucky in the sense that I'm aging a lot slower than a lot of people. So my skin does have a natural kind of smoothness to it, but it was just so smooth. Like I was like, oh my God, like what does that feel like? How come it feels so clean and smooth? Like it was a very different experience just touching my own face. So which I avoided to continue to do because I don't want to make it dirty again, because now my face is clean, and so I don't want to put more.
Oh my God,
dirty.
This is a facial version, by the way, guys.
Yeah, I don't want to put the dirt back on it. So, again, incredible experience for me. And so then, when I went to meet her in the consultation a few weeks before, she showed me the different products that she wants me to use, and she said that she was like, I'm not going to give it to you now to take home with you, because she goes, I want to do the facial first, so we do the full cleanse and get your face ready for the product. Because she's like, what's the point in using a product on skin that's dead or blackheads or skin that's not primed for the value of what the product's going to offer you. So again, very methodical and very thought out. So she explained the product again to me. So the few things that are important for me, so she gave me a cleanser and I think it's a toner that I'm
most likely
that I'm supposed to do twice a day. She gave me another product that has retinol in it, and that's to do weekly. And so she's like, I'm going to tell you, she's like, don't use it right away. She's like, I want you to do the cleanser and the toner twice a day for a couple of weeks. I'm setting a reminder for myself to message you when to start using the retinol product. And then the last one I'm going to be using, and there's a fifth one too. She's like, I'm going to wait on that one for now. I don't think you need it right now. And then the last one I'm going to be using is an eye cream for the bags. And the good thing is that everything that she's provided, like I said, is all medical grade. So if you go to a pharmacy and you're picking up over the counter stuff, like I'm sure there's some really good product there, but none of them are medical grade. I guess, and maybe certain products, but like hers are really high quality medical grade. I don't want to say none of the stuff at the pharmacies are medical grade, but hers are high quality medical grade. So yeah, it's a little bit more expensive. Like I said, you gotta decide what makes sense for you if you're looking into this idea for grooming, to see what makes the most sense based on your budget and what you want to achieve. But for me, and I asked her, I'm like, so how long is this product gonna last me? And she's like, it'll last you about 6 months. She's like, because it's highly concentrated, you're only using a little bit at a time. You're not using a whole bunch. So she's like, it should last you for roughly about 6 months. I'm like, you know what? That's a good investment when I'm spending for 6 months. For doing it twice a day, and knowing myself at the initial, like I'll probably get excited and use it twice a day off the bat, and I'll probably end up at some point being a little more relaxed about it, and then get mad at myself and then do it again properly. Like I'll go through that cycle because I know myself. So maybe it'll last me 7 months instead of 6 months. But I've made a commitment to myself and I've spent the money on it now, so I'm gonna want to use it because I don't want that to go to waste, obviously, as well. So that was my experience with her. And again, like I will definitely probably, I have to figure out my frequency, but I'm thinking every 3 to 4 months I'll go in and do, because just even as an experience to have that while it's happening to you is just so relaxing, and you feel like your face feels different when she's done.
Okay, so
now I'm gonna have a drink.
While you're feeling your face,
I babbled a lot.
No. So while you're feeling your face, we're going to take a quick break and we're going to be right back. So everybody, welcome back to Elevated Grapes. I am Stylist Rashi Bindra with Your Host Sethee. We are here and we're talking about his experience in getting a hydroglow facial, and
Yeah.
and this is and we're especially catering this episode to all our lovely men out there, and for those all you handsome guys who've not gotten a facial, this is a great time to hear it, see like hear about the experience. And for those who have already gotten one, then upgrading to a hydro glow facial might be your next step in your skincare routine.
Yeah.
So now, since you have your amazing clean face that you don't want to get dirty, as were your words,
Yes.
uh, any other thoughts you want to share with us?
We're washing our hands a lot anyway, so it's a good it's a good time to do it because I'm literally washing my hands every few minutes, so or using sanitizers. Like like my hands are pretty clean most of the time, so it's a good time to get the facial. Yeah, look, I like I overlooked this part of whether it's style or personal care for the longest period of time. I never thought it was important. I never gave it any consideration, and I started to do some research on it. Obviously a lot of people in our industry are obviously subscribed to, because your face is literally everywhere, and that's your quote unquote moneymaker. I don't know why anybody would pay to see my face, but if they want to, that's great.
Oh, trust me, they have. So let's not get into that conversation.
so but like we said in the beginning, it's not like not just specific to this industry. Like I think after understanding the value in the process just for the hygiene and health of your face, I recommend it to anybody. Like especially from aging lines to laugh lines to just dead skin. Like you think about I'm gonna use a funny example, but snakes shed their skin. We, unfortunately for us, it sits on our face, so it doesn't come off as easily. So we have to use.
Thanks for the visual.
Yeah. So we gotta use what's at our disposal to do that. And I think it's important to note that there's not only one solution, and there's not only one way to do this, and there's not only one product. Just do your research and have the conversations, whether it's with your dermatologist or a professional in the space, that you may have a contact with or may know of, to see what the right fit is for you. I mean, I did my research first. I spoke with someone I knew that I have trust and faith in, and explained exactly what I was looking for. And based on that, she provided a solution for me. This solution may not be for everybody. So it's important to note that there's various ways to do this. And Rashi, maybe you can speak, because I'm only speaking to my experience and I only have that experience to speak to. But I mean, you've done this before, so maybe you can speak to some of the other ideas and things for our gentleman friend to friends to think about.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are a lot of ways, guys, to take care of your skin. Again, if you are already in the space or in the mindset of doing regular facials, then the hydro glow or other forms of facials are like could be the next step. Again, it also depends. I wouldn't say it really depends on your age. I think it depends more so on your skin texture and
Yes.
and your daily routine. Now, let's say you're listening and you're like, hey guys, this is great, but with COVID, I'm not really comfortable getting someone to touch my face.
Absolutely.
Totally, exactly. And that's totally legit. There are also a lot of homemade facials that are applicable to men as well. And these are products that are from your kitchen or from your fridge, literally. And it might be a couple of things you might want to get from like a drugstore. You can even, buy it online. Just again, just going to the extreme that you don't want to step out of your house. That's totally fine. And the simple care routines still work. It still cleanses your skin. The most important thing when it comes to a basic skincare routine, whether you are a male or female, is once you understand if your skin is oily, combination, or dry, the steaming, the type of face mask, and the type of cleanser and exfoliator. So these four are the basic main things. We're not like going like high end here, just very basic from your fridge stuff. These will dramatically improve the appearance of your skin and start helping your skin so you're ready to go to a professional, because at some point, to upkeep your skincare routine is like going to a dentist, going to a dermatologist.
Exactly. That's the best way to explain
doctor,
it.
right?
Yeah.
You always have to go get that professional service. So until you're ready to do that, this is a great way to start. It's very simple. It's like literally 4 steps. And
And
if you're
research and
already,
research on it and research on it is, sorry to cut you off, Rashi.
yeah,
Research on it is very easy to do. I mean, if you spend a few minutes researching skincare routines and for different types of skin, and again, you're not you speaking to it doesn't nothing beats speaking to a professional in the space.
of course.
Uh, just like you mentioned, whether it's a doctor or a dentist or whoever that you're looking for that work from, but just to get an idea of what you can do, because there are home remedies and very natural home remedies you can use to get started if you're not comfortable going in. I mean, a lot of these places, I mean, I can speak to Infuse Med Spa specifically, are I felt very, very comfortable. You know, they're taking all the necessary precautions,
Hmm.
making sure everything is safe. So I'm, you know, and these guys, they're medical spots, so they're looking after themselves because they're in this environment with people all the time. So they're gonna take the proper precautions. But to Rashi's point, if you're not comfortable with that environment yet and you want to start delving into this, there's a lot of product that's available over the counter through the drugstores. There's a lot of solutions, just even with natural products, like Rashi mentioned, in your kitchen that you don't even realize have the type of solutions that would be good for your face. Oh, sorry, that's the other one. She used an antioxidant.
You're so excited. This is
I just
so
forgot. I just
adorable.
remember because I remember the word antioxidant. So yeah, there's a lot of product within your own kitchen that you can likely use. So as Rashi mentioned, sorry, continue. I just wanted to make that point.
No, that's you know what I mean? Like that's one thing, that is one point, of course. And let's say if you guys are listening and you're like, okay, but I want organic products. I don't want anything medical. I don't want anything chemical. So I personally make a lot of my own face masks at home. I very
Right.
rarely buy face masks. I mean, it's not that I don't like the charcoal mask and the clay mask until I have the exact South Asian clay that I would make at home, like have the powder and make that mask at home. Only then I would get the clay from like the clay mask from like a store or something. There are stores or there are means to have fresh organic mask and products that only last you 6 days. That still work wonders. Like one of the places I still love using, and I loved it when I was a lot younger. I won't say a kid, but let's just say a lot younger. Don't give my age away completely. Um, I use Lush. I love their face mask. I love some of their products. I love their face oils. It's a fraction of maybe what I may spend for a chemical facial product. It does wonders for my skin, and they have a men's line as well. So I'm just saying that there are options if you start getting into this world. We highly recommend it because we both believe style is not just about clothing. It's about your mindset. It's about your mental
It's
health. It's
everything.
about how
Yes.
you feel. It's everything, and that's the type of stylist we are. So yeah, guys, like you're already handsome, which I just know, and so why not just up level that handsomeness? So yeah,
Absolutely, and
that's my 2 cents.
it's part of your self care. It's part of your long term self care. Like your skin is super important. Like you live in this body for your whole life, so you want to do what you need to do to take care of it. It's not just about eating right is super important. Working out and being healthy is super important. Looking good from a style perspective is super important. Being mentally and emotionally stable is super important, and doing things to take care of those. So just like that, like your skin is super important because it's literally the first thing people see. And if you're taking care of all the other things, why let this one lag? So again, super important. I highly recommend. I will continue to give you guys updates as I go through the journey and the process. I'm sure that I'm going to fumble in between and make a mess of what they told me to do. But now that I've also made it public knowledge, I have to hold up my end of the deal and go every quarter like I'm thinking about doing, and do this 2 times a day routine, because I know Rashi's going to hold me accountable. She'll be like, so did you do your 2 times a day this time? Shit, I forgot. Like it's going to happen. So mentioning here is holds me accountable. So I'm kind of glad I did that too.
Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing your experience today
Yeah, thank you. I think
for our listeners.
yeah, absolutely. I think the timing just worked out because it just literally happened today, and we were planning to record today. Actually, it's funny because Rashi was like, "Hold on, your face is gonna come back red. How are we gonna record?" And I'm like, you know what? If it's red, it's
Yeah.
even better, because then I can tell the story and explain exactly what happened. I'm like, I don't mind putting my face on camera and showing the effect of it, because it's like I said, it's something that I want to do. So either way, it worked out really well. My face is not red. Actually, I asked Kavita about that while I'm like, I got to record tonight. Is my face gonna be red? She's like, no, your face will be fine.
You just have apple cheeks.
Yeah, just apple cheeks. But that's because you don't see the beard, and now my cheeks are a lot more accentuated. It's hilarious.
It's,
Yeah.
I really, really, really wish I was there in person because half the podcast, I kid you not, knowing how I am, would just be like, it would be Billy on like his lap or like my lap, and then me just going this the entire time.
Yeah, I'm really glad that we're doing this over Zoom.
Because I did that to him in person once, even though he told me not to.
She's done it a number of times. I'm not a
So
fan.
much fun.
I'm very happy that we're doing this over Zoom. All right, folks. So thank you again for listening. We'll keep you updated on my skincare routine journey. And we will catch you next week on Elevated Grapes. Rashi, you going to say bye?
I thought you said bye for the both of us, but guys, until next time, and remember, you get what you give. So give your skin some love. You'll get a lot of love back. There you go.
I didn't say give a whole
time.
speech. I just said say bye.
Until next time, guys.
Bye. Hey guys, thank you for watching that podcast or that video. If you like what you hear and you want to hear more of us and see some of our behind the scenes stuff, subscribe below.
Yes, hit that little red button thingy that's over there and hit subscribe and keep following us for a lot more cool fun stuff.
Thanks again for tuning in. We'll see you soon.